What's up guys, Irish Tail here, and welcome to this video on Rainbow Six Siege Operation Skull Rain update. So for those of you that don't know, Ubisoft released a load of information on the new Brazilian operators and map, ranging from their skills and loadouts to details on the map and its level of destructibility, as well as some information on some extra things they'll be adding in, and some small tweaks and changes that will be made. Now, I'm not too keen on the name Operation Skull Rain, but hey ho, that was Ubisoft's choice. Now, for those of you interested in reading it for yourself, feel free to check the link in the description below. But without further ado, let's get straight into the information on the operators. Firstly, we'll look at Caviar, who is the new defending operator. Now, her ability is called Silent Step, which will enable her to sneak up on enemies and then immobilize them and interrogate them for information on where that person's team are. Now, it doesn't say if by immobilize it means put them into the down and not out state, or if it's something entirely different. But after reading this, I'll be honest, I don't feel overly keen on her skill, at least with regards to the interrogation part. And my reasoning for this is because of the nature of Siege and the level of communications from teams, especially in ranked. The moment she sneaks up on someone, they'll be calling out to their team that she's on top of them, so they'll know to rush up and kill her, and they'll know exactly where she is specifically. So, while in theory, with the Silent Step ability enabling her to move at speeds while still making no foot noise when compared to other defending operators, the nature of her skill in my eyes just won't play well into games. So while yes, she could be an amazing roamer in the sense that people won't hear her coming, the second half of her skill just won't work well, especially not where games communicate constantly and where teams are good enough so they don't split up far enough that they can't cover each other. So, like I said, I'm not sure on her as an operator, and we'll have to kind of wait and see how she plays on release, because we can't really tell until then, but I'm not in a positive mood about her in general. I'm not too keen on her skill. Now, other than this, her loadout consists of an M12 submachine gun or a Spaz 15 shotgun, with her gadgets being nitro cell and barbed wire. Now, from experience of the previous DLCs, I imagine that the shotgun on her will, in Ubisoft fashion, be overpowered and need a nerf after release. Because let's be honest, both Frost and Valkyrie shotguns have been stupidly overpowered and needed that nerf almost immediately after their release. But again, it's one of those things, we'll have to wait and see for the release and hope that Ubisoft have kind of learned from their mistakes. Next, we'll take a look at Capitão. Now, his skill is a tactical crossbow that fires asphyxiating bolts that burn oxygen within a certain radius. So basically, for those of you that don't understand, what this means is that where you fire the bolt, the fire burns the oxygen in the air, meaning people around it can't breathe. So basically, think something like Smoke's ability, but in a smaller area with a better range on it and a bit more of a concentrated effect. Now, this is a gadget that I really do like the idea of, because I can't tell you how often in Siege I've been in a situation where I've run out of or have not got any grenades and a defender is hiding behind a shield that they've placed, I'm behind a door frame, and it becomes a case of we're both waiting for the other to rush out so that we get that shot on them as they're exposed so we can take them out. And obviously then it becomes this case of a waiting game where you're just waiting for the other one to come out. But with this gadget, it opens up the ability to force that defender out from behind their shield and into open ground to be shot at by you or a teammate. Meaning hopefully we'll see less of these stalemates where people are hiding behind cover just waiting for the other person. So, hopefully this operator will change that. Also, when I first read about the ability, I thought maybe because the darts are on fire, it might be able to burn the wooden barricades down if the bolt is shot into them. Almost like a slower breach caused by the burning. However, this hasn't been specified by Ubisoft, so I can't say as to if the bolts would do this. All I'm saying is it's a feature I'd like, so that's something I'd throw in. Moving on from here, the crossbow can also fire a micro smoke grenade, which Ubisoft put in their own words, can mask positions and team movements. Although, in honesty, I'm not sure how this is better than a normal smoke grenade, other than it can be placed more accurately. It's smaller in general by the way it's mentioned, and in honesty, I'm not sure on that half of the crossbow's ability, as we already have smoke grenades on some operators anyway. So maybe in the sense that other operators don't need to pack smoke grenades if you use him, but I'm not particularly sure on that, like I say. The rest of his loadout consists of frag and stun grenades, as well as his primary weapons being an M249 or the Para 308. So pretty standard loadout there for him, and again, like I said, we'll have to sort of look at the second half of his loadout when it comes to the crossbow and whether or not that's actually a useful feature. Okay, now onto the new map. So the information that's been released to us specifies that the map is going to be set in a Brazilian favela, and the map itself supports exterior shell destruction, making it, in Ubisoft's words, the most destructible map to date. Basically, for those of you that don't know, favelas are made of like thin metal walls, and they tend to be very weak, and the essential is that with the way they're going to build it, most of the, or all of the entire walls are on the outside of the building are going to be breachable. So unlike the previous ones where mainly they focus on interior breaching, this game is, or this map specifically rather, is going to focus on exterior breaching. Now, overall I'm quite looking forward to this because my favourite maps are the ones with the more destructibility, as they're the ones that open up the really varied gameplay and sort of showcase different teams using different methods of breaching, compared to the ones with mainly interior breaches where it kind of comes down to a lot of teams use the same methods to get in because it all becomes funneled into these normal breaching points. So hopefully, like I say, this will open up some really varied gameplay, and it'll be interesting to see how it's going to affect the overall gameplay and team strategies. So I'm holding high hopes for this map. I'm kind of hoping I can regard it up there with like that of House, which is my favourite in-game map, but as I said before and everything else, only time will tell. Now, onto the last few things that have been added. One major change to most operators' loadouts will be the addition of an angled grip. This is designed to allow for players using it to essentially transition from hipfire to ADS at a faster rate than those without, which will hopefully lend itself especially to those players who like to roam, meaning that if you see an enemy you can bring your gun up a lot faster than they can to aim at them. Now, in my opinion, this has been something that Siege has needed for a while, in the regard that there is only the normal grip currently for guns, and in all cases when it comes to the grip, there is no reason not to equip it, as it only benefits the user. And at least with this addition, there will be a little bit more variability to weapons and how they can be set up, so hopefully we won't just see people using standard grips, there will also be variable, like the angled grips as well. Another small change to ranked is there is now a surrender option for that gameplay, which is a minor tweak, but it basically means that if you're losing badly, instead of quitting out and receiving a penalty to your renown, your team can basically opt to surrender and take the loss, but not get that penalty, although you can only surrender within the first 3 rounds. So essentially it just means if you're losing badly and you feel like you want to quit and your whole team feels that way, instead of having to just leave and take the penalty that you get for quitting, instead the game goes, right, you can all surrender and do it that way instead. So I suppose it's a little bit of a benefit. And the final change is that Ubisoft will finally be implementing a client-side anti-cheat, which has been something the game, especially on PC, has needed for a while now. Now, I'm not suggesting that this is because loads of players are cheating, but because lots of players tend to lean towards accusing a better player of cheating if they're losing to them. So hopefully with this client-side anti-cheat being implemented, this is mentally, at least, should sort of reassure players that they'll be less hackers in the game, and hopefully that accusations being thrown during games, where people just assume immediately that somebody is cheating because they're better. Now, the new DLC operators will be releasing to season pass holders on the 2nd of August, with the non-season pass holders getting them on the 9th of August for the cost of 25k renown each, as the other DLC operators have been, and the map will be releasing free to everyone on the 2nd. Ubisoft has said we'll be getting a little bit more information on the new operators on the 30th of July at the Xbox Pro League Finals and on their stream, so we'll see all that sort of information there. So you can expect more coverage on this topic from me shortly after that release stream. If you have any thoughts on anything I covered in this video, please feel free to comment below, and I love to get your opinions on this kind of stuff, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and feel free to like if you did. Also, feel free to subscribe for more Siege content on the new Skull Rain DLC. As more information is released, I'll be making more content, as I said, and once the operators are released, I'll do some how-to guides on the map and the operators themselves. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hostiles remaining.